It is Super Bowl week. Super Bowl 60 has arrived, and we here at Big Game Energy are going to bring you content all week long.
Heck yeah.
So if you are not already, make sure you are subscribed to our channel here. Get us on TikTok. Get us on Instagram. We would appreciate the love. James, I want to approach this game this week. Before we get into picks, and we'll get into picks later this week, I want to know, and I want to talk through, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for each of these teams and some of the notable players on each of the teams?
Definitely. Okay, I like how this is going.
James, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for the Seattle Seahawks? And in particular, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for Sam Darnold?
Man, a Super Bowl for Sam Darnold would definitely, shut up the haters immediately, put him in the top 10 automatically, and may even start debating, hey, he might be better than even Joe Burrow. He actually won a chip when he went to his first Super Bowl. So that could be a lovely conversation we have. Number 2 would be maybe the reconstruction of quarterback contracts for the future. Instead of paying every guy you think may hit 5 years, $300 million, you might have to find that 3-year, $100 million diamond in the rough. So that would be probably number 2 on what I think would happen for someone like Sam Darnold. And really, for number 3, it would just bring up his legacy. It would be the feel-good story that we would get on ESPN. We wake up on a Saturday morning, and it's like, if you ever thought you could never make it in life, know that dreams never end if you still believe in them. That's what we would get, that type of narrating for someone like Sam Darnold.
I agree with you. I think another thing, too, though, and I'm going to be a negative Nancy on this because there's still hater in me, James. I think a Super Bowl victory for Sam Darnold, I think that could actually set the Seahawks up for failure. And here's why. You mentioned it. He wins a Super Bowl, he is going to get a new contract. And we know in the NFL, when a team pays their quarterback, the rest of the team suffers. And I think as great as the Seahawks have been this year and as great as Sam Darnold has been, again, I'm not taking anything away from what he has done this season, but if he doesn't have the same supporting cast around him, some of the same defensive studs, some of those offensive guys that he's been leaning on, will he be able to replicate a Super Bowl win in the future if he is now making upwards of $50, $60 million a year, when this year they've got him on the cap hit for about $33 million? It's just something to think about, but that's a problem that Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl MVP and winning a Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks, I'm sure that's a problem they would not mind having. Now, James, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for the running back for the Seahawks, Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, what a Super Bowl would mean for him would be he's probably going to get signed really some big bucks by not the Seattle Seahawks. I think he'll test the market, and someone's going to overpay for Kenneth Walker's his ability to play. It'll depend on how this game goes. I do believe in the Super Bowl, Kenneth Walker will be all electric back now with these two defenses. How much blow is he going to get? I don't know at this moment, but I think a Super Bowl for him would be him getting paid by another team.
I think a Super Bowl victory, Kenneth Walker is gone. He is gone. He is gone. But a Super Bowl loss, Kenneth Walker, you're right. He is gone regardless. But I would say this. It would be interesting, though. I could see it more so if he wins. I think the chances that he stays go up because we know Zach Charbonnet, late season ACL injury, very likely he is not healthy to start the season. They might bring Kenneth Walker back if he can sign for a relatively decent number. And it's possible that he's not even the highest paid running back in free agency, with Breece Hall also entering free agency.
Correct.
Maybe the Seahawks, they get a hometown discount and he runs it back. But I also think when you look at the numbers and Kenneth Walker, 1,000 yards rushing this year, but only 5 touchdowns, they gave all the goal line carries to Zach Charbonnet. I have to imagine that Kenneth Walker, that frustrated him throughout the season. So that's why I think he is gone no matter what.
Gone for sure.
All right, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for Jaxon Smith-Njigba?
Well, with the season he's already had, a Super Bowl for him, and if he is to outshine a guy like Christian Gonzalez on the opposite side of the Patriots, it's just going to solidify what you've been mentioning. JSN might be top 2 receiver in the league, and he's not 2. And that's just the way he's been playing this season with Sam Darnold. I know Jay Jetta On the Vikings, a little jealous on that other side, getting Mr. 9. Hey, man, holding it down for Mr. 9. But in all honesty, no, JSN just keeps he gets an early, becoming, a champ in one ear and then being a Super Bowl champ in the other is already starting a good resume. Even like Devontae Smith from the Eagles, winning a chip in college and then winning a Super Bowl would be great for his resume.
Yeah, I think a Super Bowl victory for Jaxon Smith-Njigba, I think that solidifies him as number one in the entire NFL. After the season he had, very similar to the season Cooper Kupp had back in 2021 for the Rams, where he dominated all regular season, put up crazy numbers. And I'm not going to lie, I like Jaxon Smith-Njigba's chances at Super Bowl MVP, just like Cooper Kupp had. So you have the chance for Jaxon Smith-Njigba to have led the league in receiving yards, be a first-team All-Pro, win a Super Bowl, and a Super Bowl MVP. You can keep your Jamar Chases. You can keep your Puka Nakuas. You can keep your Justin Jeffersons. I want Jaxon Smith-Njigba as the wide receiver one in fantasy, and he's the best wide receiver in football if he gets the dub against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. All right, another wide receiver I want to talk about for the Seahawks. What would a Super Bowl victory mean for Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Cooper Kupp?
Oh, man. You know what that would mean? A Super Bowl victory for Cooper Kupp would solidify a Hall of Fame career. Locking it in, doing the meme on that freaking soul plane, locking it. This mother locked. Just put him in, becoming Super Bowl MVP with the Rams, winning Triple Crown, all that back then, and then going to your rival team in the same division and conference and to win one, and you beat your former team to get there. Yeah, man, solidify Hall of Fame.
I don't think the Rams have any regrets about trading Cooper Kupp for Devontae Adams.
No.
I don't think they have any regrets about that. But for the fact that they were out here telling teams that he needs to retire, telling teams that they shouldn't sign him, and that's a big reason why he went to the Seahawks in division rivals. He's from the area. It would be such a good revenge story for Cooper Kupp to get another Super Bowl. And you're right, I'm with you. Hall of Fame absolutely would nail it down for him, because that would be 2 Super Bowls, an Offensive Player of the Year, and he would have a ton of numbers. Now, it might be closer than you think. In his 9 years, he currently only has 8,369 receiving yards. Obviously, we know a lot of his career has been plagued with injury. 17-game average of 1186 per year. Those numbers, coupled with 2 Super Bowls, I think Cooper Kupp would be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe not first ballot with all the controversy around the first ballot. Okay, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for Demarcus Lawrence?
Ooh, a Super Bowl would mean for Demarcus Lawrence, everyone from Dallas, run, leave your wives and your kids, and go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. That's what that would mean for someone like Demarcus Lawrence. No, in all honesty, that is really my only thing.
You're not going to say anything good about Demarcus Lawrence because he was an 11-year Cowboy, and in his first year with the Seattle Seahawks this year has been a revelation for them. Had a Pro Bowl appearance, had 6 sacks in the regular season. If he gets a Super Bowl with the Seahawks this year, I not only think that the people of Dallas are going to be kicking themselves, especially after how bad their defense was this year.
Yep.
I'm going to say it, James. You're not going to like it, but that's how I feel. He would be a Hall of Famer as well. I think he'd have the resume, 5 Pro Bowls, and I know we don't really care about Pro Bowls anymore, but the voters do, and he gets a Super Bowl in there. I think that's enough. Again, definitely not a first ballot.
Nobody's a first ballot.
No one's a first ballot, but I think Demarcus Lawrence will eventually get in if he gets a Super Bowl victory.
You would have to give me his sack total right now, and we can talk that off to the side, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right, what would a Super Bowl victory be for Mike Macdonald?
A Super Bowl victory for Mike Macdonald would be one thing only, and we figure this is the vibe, you know how this goes. Long tenured coaches that haven't done anything for your organization, hadn't got you through the hump, it's time to go. You think about it. That was Pete Carroll for Seattle, and you bring in this young guy and Mike Macdonald, and he's a defensive guy, and hey, you just bring in new blood and maybe a new philosophy, a new regime, and it somehow finds a way to click. As they always say, man, you need more than one leader. And Mike Macdonald, he would be showing that you can be young in this sport and find a way to lead men to a higher purpose. And right now that's in the Super Bowl on your rival's turf.
Yeah, I think that's well said, James. I think a Mike Macdonald Super Bowl victory would not only mean so much for him and what he has done in his short time with the Seahawks. I think about the Baltimore Ravens and how much harder they're going to be kicking themselves that they were a year too late in dismissing John Harbaugh, and they could have kept Mike Macdonald, promoted him. And maybe we're talking about Lamar Jackson finally getting over the hump if he had kept a leader like Mike Macdonald in-house. Obviously, I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's the one that got him run out of town.
I know.
But imagine if he had been the head coach for the past 2 years for the Baltimore Ravens. It's wild to think about, but I think Mike Macdonald's a coach that I'd want to play for. He is a player's coach.
Heck yeah.
All right. Y'all let us know in the comments, what would this Super Bowl mean for these Seattle Seahawks players? And let us know any legacies that we left off.